Let me ask you something. Have you ever set a goal, felt fired up, but somehow ended up nowhere close to it? It's not because you didn't want it bad enough. It's because something stole your focus. And here's the truth. If you don't own your focus, you'll never own your future. Today, I'm going to show you how to take back control, how to train your mind like a laser, cut through the life you've imagined. Because when you own your focus, you own your future. Let's dive in. Step 1. Clarity is power. Clarity is one of the most powerful forces you can harness in your life. When you're clear about what you want, everything begins to change. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become faster, and your path becomes more direct. Think of clarity like a spotlight in a dark room. The moment you switch it on, all the hidden details are revealed. The obstacles, the opportunities, and the next step forward. Most people struggle not because they lack ambition, but because they lack precision. They have a general sense of what they want. More success, more money, better health, happiness. But general goals produce general results. Specificity is what separates dreamers from doers. When you define exactly what success looks like to you, what kind of life you want to live, what kind of work lights you up, the relationships you want to nurture, your brain kicks into gear. It begins filtering the world around you through a new lens. Suddenly, what seemed random starts to feel aligned. You begin noticing people, ideas, and opportunities that you were blind to before. This isn't magic. It's focus. The clearer the target, the more accurate your aim. When your vision is blurry, your actions become scattered. But with clarity, every step has purpose. Every yes and every no carries weight. You stop wasting time on distractions because you know where you're going. Clarity gives you the power to say no without guilt, to take action without hesitation, and to move forward without second-guessing yourself. It removes indecision, which is one of the greatest forms of self-doubt. And in its place, it builds momentum. Real, sustainable, forward-moving momentum. Step 2, distraction is the enemy of progress. Distraction is subtle. It doesn't announce itself with a warning. It creeps in quietly, steals your time, and before you know it, hours, days, even years have passed without real progress. It's the silent killer of dreams. Every time you allow your attention to be pulled away from what truly matters, you trade your future for the comfort of now. And the worst part, most distractions don't even feel destructive. They feel harmless. A quick scroll on your phone, a harmless video, a productive multitasking session. But what's really happening is your mind is being trained to jump, to scatter, to avoid deep focus. And deep focus is where growth happens. Progress isn't made in shallow attention. It's made when you enter that state of flow, when your mind is locked onto one task, one goal, with everything else shut out. But the world doesn't encourage that. The world profits off your distraction. Algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling. Notifications are crafted to hook your dopamine. The system wants your attention because your attention is valuable. But if you give it away carelessly, you're handing over control. You're building someone else's dream, not yours. Every distraction is a detour. Even if it seems small, the cumulative effect is massive. One small break in focus, and it can take minutes or longer to get back on track. Imagine trying to reach a destination and taking a dozen wrong turns along the way. Is what distraction does to your goals. Delays your arrival, it drains your energy, it breaks your rhythm, it keeps you busy but not effective. And over time, it convinces you that you're working hard when you're really just spinning in circles. Step 3, your focus determines your energy. Your focus acts like a magnifying glass for your energy. Wherever your attention goes, that's where your emotional, mental, and even physical energy flows. If you're constantly focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, or what might go wrong, your body reacts. You feel drained, tense, anxious, because your energy is being consumed by negativity and fear. On the other hand, when you direct your focus toward possibility, progress, and purpose, something shifts. You feel alive, motivated, energized. It's not the external circumstances that change. It's your internal lens that shapes your experience. Most people think energy is a fixed resource, something you either have or don't. But energy is largely influenced by focus. Two people can do the same task, but one ends up exhausted while the other finishes feeling fired up. The difference is where their attention was during the process. If you're focused on how hard something is or how long it's taking, you'll feel resistance with every step. But if your focus is locked on the outcome, on the meaning behind the effort, your energy multiplies. Focus is also a filter. It helps you tune out what doesn't matter so you can fully invest yourself in what does. When your focus is scattered, your energy becomes fragmented. You start a task, stop, check your phone, reply to a message, get distracted again. And before long, you feel overwhelmed, not because the task was too hard, but because your energy was split in too many directions. But when you narrow your focus to one meaningful thing at a time, your energy becomes powerful, concentrated, and effective. You become more present, more productive, and more at peace. Your emotions follow your focus. Your motivation follows your focus. Even your sense of identity, the way you see yourself, is shaped by what you consistently pay attention to. If you constantly focus on your limitations, you start to feel limited. But if you focus on your strengths, on the actions within your control, on your vision for the future, you begin to operate from a place of strength. Focus gives direction to your thoughts and emotions. It determines what you amplify and what you mute. And over time, that determines the level of energy you bring to your days, your goals, and your life. Step 4, discipline is the bridge. Discipline is what connects where you are now to where you want to be. It's the unseen force that turns vision into reality, dreams into goals, and goals into achievement. Motivation might give you a spark, but discipline is what keeps the fire burning when motivation fades, which it always does. Discipline isn't about being harsh or rigid. It's about choosing long-term gain over short-term. It's the repeated decision to do the thing you said you would do, especially when you no longer feel like doing it. That moment when you want to quit, to delay, to give in, that's where discipline lives. That's where progress is forged. People often wait for the right moment to act. But discipline doesn't rely on perfect timing or ideal conditions. It shows up regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to say, I will follow through even when excuses seem justified. And every time you act with discipline, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes momentum. Discipline simplifies life. It eliminates the constant tug-of-war in your mind. Instead of debating whether or not to take action, you just act. You've already decided that your goals matter more than your moods. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You need to be committed. And commitment requires structure, habits, and rules that guide your behavior even when your emotions try to pull you in another direction. It's easy to be disciplined when things are going well, but true discipline is tested during adversity. When results are slow, when obstacles appear, when doubt creeps in, That's when the discipline keep going. That's when they do the work anyway. And with every act of discipline, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. The person who shows up, the person who finishes, the person who doesn't let circumstances decide their future. Discipline is also freedom. It might sound like a contradiction, but it's true. When you live with discipline, you gain control. You create space in your life for what matters most. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You're no longer ruled by impulses or distractions. Instead, you become the architect of your own growth, building your future one choice at a time. Step 5, daily direction creates lifelong results. Success isn't built in one grand gesture. It's built in the quiet, consistent choices you make every single day. That's the essence of daily direction. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right thing regularly. When you wake up each morning with clear intention and a simple, focused plan of action, you begin to create alignment between your daily habits and your bigger vision. It's not the dramatic bursts of effort that shape your future. It's the compound effect of disciplined direction over time. Small steps repeated with purpose lead to massive transformation. Daily direction gives you a sense of control in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions. It turns your goals from abstract dreams into practical tasks. It makes progress measurable and manageable. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead realize that every day is a chance to take another step. You build momentum, and with momentum comes confidence. That confidence fuels consistency, and consistency becomes your edge. Because while others are distracted or discouraged, you're quietly, steadily building. Having direction also gives meaning to your effort. When you know what you're working toward, even the mundane starts to feel purposeful. That email, that workout, that hour of study, they're no longer isolated tasks. They're bricks in the foundation of something bigger. This daily discipline becomes your system, your structure. And once that structure is in place, you no longer rely on motivation to act. You follow your plan, your mission. Even on the hard days, even when you don't see immediate results, daily direction keeps you on course because you understand that growth isn't always visible. Progress often happens in silence, beneath the surface, in the habits and mindset you're shaping through repetition. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who kept showing up, refining, adjusting, and moving forward with intention. Day after day, choice after choice, they created a future they once only imagined. Step 6. The future belongs to the focused. In a world overwhelmed by noise, options, and constant digital stimulation, focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable assets a person can develop. The individuals who rise, who lead, who innovate, and who create lasting impact aren't necessarily the smartest or the fastest. They're the most focused. They've learned how to direct their attention like a beam of light cutting through the clutter and locking in on what truly matters. They don't chase everything that glitters. They choose a path, commit to it, and give it everything they've got. While most people are scattered, distracted by every notification, pulled in every direction by other people's priorities, the focused are intentional. They don't just react to life, they shape it. Focus creates clarity, and with clarity comes power. When you know where you're going, when you can see your destination clearly, distractions become easier to ignore. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes only to the things that move you forward. And that's when your future begins to take shape, not by accident, but by design. The focused don't leave their lives up to chance. They don't let the urgency of the moment override the importance of their mission. They stay anchored to their purpose, and that anchor keeps them steady through the storms of doubt, fatigue, and external pressure. Focus also breeds excellence. It allows you to go deep, to master your craft, to become irreplaceable in your field. Instead of spreading yourself thin across a dozen half-finished ideas, you go all in on one. You refine, you improve, you build something with depth and meaning. And while others burn out from chasing everything, you build resilience through direction and discipline. You conserve your energy, you protect your time, and you invest both into what aligns with your long-term vision. The future doesn't reward the distracted. It rewards the deliberate, the people who decide who they want to be, what they want to do, and where they want to go, and then back that decision with relentless focus effort. These are the people who build companies, write books, create art, inspire movements, lead change, not because they had more hours in the day, but because they used their hours with intention. They knew that attention is the new currency, and they spent it wisely, guarding it from anything that didn't serve their mission. So now you know, focus isn't just a habit, it's your superpower. It shapes your energy, it sharpens your mind, it fuels your discipline, and it forges your future. The truth is, your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest focus. If you focus on fear, you'll build a future full of hesitation, but if you focus on growth, on discipline, on purpose, you'll create a future full of impact. Don't let distractions write your story. Don't wait for clarity to come from the outside. Create it from within. Own your focus, minute by minute, day by day. Because when you own your focus, you own your future. Let's go build it.